quite chilled.
Hello. It's a bit lean back. Can I bring it forward? Hello, I'm Ryan Gardner, but you'll know me as ANDYTHEMANDY. I'm 24 years old from London in the UK, and I coach Rocket League. So I've always been a PC gamer since I was like 10, 11, and I played a lot of different games before that. I got into Rocket League due to a friend on Xbox bought it, and we shared the account things, so you would get given the game as well. I didn't really like it at the start. It was too hard, and I think that's a lot of people's problems with the game. And then a few years later, a friend of mine was pretty good at it. I went to my first LAN in London, and then it just all lifted off from there. I met some pros, and I worked with them for free, and it just came about. So, fun fact, I did play a bit. I was not great. I knew I was a bit too crap mechanically to make it, but I did make one UK LAN. I don't know, it was Mountain Dew Game Fuel League. And the fun fact is I actually played against Matean. He was one of my opponents, and so that was how we originally met. And he just laughed at me and beat me. I didn't play against him personally, but I did way worse than him in the tournament. I really rated him back then, so the fact that we ended up linking, spending so long together is really cool. To have football coaching degrees behind me, and it kind of made sense when one of my friends was on a pro team and I spoke to him about some gameplay stuff and he liked it, and then he reached out to his management and I ended up helping him out coaching wise, which ended up being Barcelona. If you remember FC Barcelona back then, when they made Worlds in Season 7 and stuff, I was helping there. Due to that, I had that experience. I moved on through teams like Singularity, then I met up with Mitch, and since then, me and Mitch have just been teaming together. After Barca, I went to Team Singularity when they promoted in Season 9, and then me and Mitch joined up together on Notorious Legion esports. We then went on to join, we made up the Monkeys. We joined Galaxy Racer, we joined Misfits Gaming, Soniqs, Lunar Galaxy, and now we're here on Endpoint. It's a load of just memories I love from Rocket League, but I think as a fan, I'm going to go with one as a fan and one as a coach. So as a fan, in Season 5, I was not that into the whole idea of esports. I was not so sold on being one of them people in the crowd, sweaty gamers, getting up and getting loud. Don't be offended, guys. We're great. But I wasn't into that idea at the time. And then I remember Devo hit that shot in London where he lands on the backboard and the ball comes down and he jumps out and he flips from under it. I don't know if you know the shot, but it was such an insane shot, and I didn't have control of him, but my legs just rose me. So that being my first LAN as a fan it grasped me. Memory as coaching, it's probably Gamers 8. This year, last year, Gamers 8, watching Razia score that pogo was insane. Winning, so many matches on stage and making it so far and just being on the stage, and it makes me so hungry to get back on stage and do it for a major. I would say we boot camped last year as Soniqs, and what is basically that Monkeys roster. And I'd say probably the best one was when we were in groups against Endpoint. And we were 2-0 down in groups, and we weren't safe, and we had to reverse sweep Endpoint, but the players didn't know it, and I did. And we ended up reverse sweeping them to actually stay safe in the group, so it was actually crazy. So it's actually a very interesting story, I think, because obviously me and Mitch, after I split with Singularity, Matean, Taz, and Cash were a team on NLE, and they wanted me to try out as coach. They didn't have a coach at the time, so it was a free opportunity to try out. They enjoyed it. I joined them instantly, so that was really good. So that was where me, Matean, and Taz stuck, and we picked up Ixo, and Ixo picked up Arju as a sub because Arju and Ixo were friends at the time. Arju actually ended up subbing in because we had some bad runner performance, and Arju subbed in and took over for Taz, and that was basically how he just solidified himself into the roster. He ended up being friends with Mitch, and me, Matean, and Arju just became, friends. We thought everyone was good at what they did, and we just solidified kind of around that top 10 area for a couple seasons. And then we basically were in a position where everyone who we wanted to play with was eventually leaving us because they either, they felt like they had more in them. Like top 10's a great place to be, but you do want more. That's kind of how it is as a competitor, as a professional. And we ended up looking for someone who was, I guess you could say, unknown, and that's where Soniqs comes in. So Soniqs was a player, I think is something we've always been really strong at, is like identifying a talent and being able to nurture them as a team. I think that's all three of us, me, Mateo and Arju, we make it really easy for that guy to play. And Soniqs was a prime example of that. He was someone who hadn't made a regional before we picked him up, and now he's made all 9 in a season and been a top, in my opinion, one of the top performers in Europe. Made Gamers 8, impressed at Gamers 8 on an international stage. He's just that kind of player that you pick up, you give a chance, and he'll give it back, kind of thing. My life revolves around Rocket League. It's the current thing that takes up all my time. What at the end of the day makes me happy and what makes me sad. And we've just built like a structure that just keeps finding a way to compete. And I'm just hoping that now is the time we push on. We make it just that little bit more, make a major. I've got a long time here at the camp. First split, I'm going to do everything I've got to make this first split the one. I'm going to enjoy my time with the boys, but at the end of the day, got a show on the pitch, Can't be messing around any longer. Time to make that major.